What did you do with the child?
What was I to do? Took it out and buried it.
Just like that?
Damn you! I gave no thought to a funeral. It was a horror. I wanted it to end. That child had been my dream. I told Anna, the little one, our little one, to make things right. Yet she died before she could be born. Understand, Witcher? My child was dead.
Sometimes miscarried fetuses, if they don't get a proper burial, turn into botchlings.
Into fucking what?
A cursed creature that draws strength from killing pregnant women. Once it's strong enough, it attacks those who scorned it.
But how? How does it know?
Blood ties. They're a strong bond. A bond I want to use to find your family.
How?
One of two ways. Legends claim you can bury a botchling under the family's threshold, perform a ritual, and turn it into a lubberkin. That's a sort of, hob, a guardian spirit that could lead me to your family.
And the other way?
We kill it and draw some blood. Take that to the Peller and he does the rest.
A bit further. Follow me.
The grave's dug up and empty.
What's that mean?
Botchling's on the prowl.
Look!
Take it in your arms, quick.
And if it goes Garrett, it'll bite us in the arse before we know it.
Keep screaming and it will turn rabid. It's calm for now.
Bloody hell. What happens when it gets very restless?
It'll bite through your jugular and you'll bleed to death before I can help. Tell me if it starts wriggling. I'll calm it with magic. Pick it up. Take it in your arms. By the powers of earth and sky.
By the powers of earth and sky.
By the world that was to be your home.
By the world that was to be your home.
Forgive me, you who came, but who I did not embrace.
Forgive me. You who came, but who I did not embrace.
I name thee, say her name, and embrace thee as my daughter.
I name thee, Daya, and embrace thee as my daughter.
Good. Now bury the body.
What now?
In 1 day's time, Daya should turn into a lubberkin. I'll stay here and wait. You go home.
I'll wait with you.
Out of the question.
But that's my child. And the guilt, the responsibility for all this lies with me.
Time for parental impulses? It's long past. Besides, nothing else you can do here.
But...
No buts. Just Witcher's work left to do here. Gotta wait a day and a night for the botchling to turn into a lubberkin. That's it. Go home. And try not to drink yourself stupid again.
One of the most memorable quests in The Witcher 3 for me is the quest Family Matters, particularly the part with the Baron and the Botchling. It's one of those quests where you feel not just like some great hero tackling some existential threat, but a Witcher fulfilling contracts and getting caught up in a smaller and more personal adventure. You know, you get used to the characters, you learn who they are, you feel like, oh okay, something's happening, it's not part of the story, but we're doing it. I've heard a lot of feedback over the years about The Witcher 3, particularly from people that watched my full Witcher playthrough and how by watching it, they decided to play the full game. Now this isn't always to do with my commentary ability, but more to do with people realizing that there is more to The Witcher 3 than just Velen, which a surprising amount of people get to and feel it drags too long and give up on the game. But for me, Velen was what enticed me more and more into The Witcher 3. Yeah, I had played The Witcher 2, but Velen felt so distinct to that game, and like such a lived-in world, There was of course the Baron, but the small villages, the little quests everywhere, and that giant world map showing off Novigrad, Oxenfurt, and a lot of other land to the north. I remember looking at the map and travelling from one point to another and thinking, wow, I've only gone this far. And I looked at Crow's Perch on the map, I thought this is quite a big settlement. Then you look at Novigrad, I mean it's not in Velen, but it's the same map, and you're like, wow, you know, just wow. Anyway, I remember playing the Family Matters quest and the botchling appears for the first time. It kind of slinks out of the shadows and you can kill or save it. Then you give it to the Baron and head through the night in the rain up to the, I suppose, castle or keep. This was around 7 years ago for me, as I pre-ordered The Witcher 3 and played it back in 2015, and this is quite early in the game, so it would have been around that time. And I remember just actually pausing the game whilst I was escorting the Baron, and just sitting and being amazed. I remember thinking, what if I had killed the botchling? What would have happened? Like, it said kill or save, what would happen now? I wouldn't be taking him up there, right? Like, how is this possible? The Witcher 2 had decisions, but I wasn't expecting it from such a relatively inconsequential small questline in the game. I mean, to me it felt that way, and considering how big The Witcher 3 is, it's not like a major part of it. I was more used to playing Skyrim all day, every day, where decisions in the main story are hard to find. You would have to download mods to get them into the game, to make the game slightly different for yourself. I mean, Skyrim's a great game, but you know, there's a series of questlines you can play, and a lot of the changes you can have are with your character as opposed to the quest. It's normally the same thing again and again. But The Witcher, it was a story-driven game where the story can change based on my decisions, and that was incredible. It was just such a unique thing for me. But it wasn't just the fact that my decisions seemed so important, but because I really cared about the characters. The Baron was this guy who seemed tormented, and you slowly discover more about him as the game goes on. He was abusive, he drank heavily, he went to war, was traumatized, his wife cheated on him, he killed her lover, she despised him, his own daughter hated him. Basically, his whole life was a mess. Now you have this guy bringing the reanimated, miscarriaged child he had with his wife through the night to be buried and put to rest. It just felt so weirdly real in a way. Obviously it's fantasy and not real, but it was so like visceral and just, I mean, I suppose dark fantasy. It's the believability of the characters and how developed they are that allowed me to think like this. I remember thinking there aren't a lot of games where side characters leave such a major impact. Also, you're playing as Geralt, going through this swampy, war-torn land, just trying to find Ciri. At the point before you get to Velen, you've only seen a glimpse of Kaer Morhen and some mention of Eredin, you've seen the Wild Hunt a couple times, White Orchard, Emir, and now you're here, at the beginning of a long journey. So although some people might not look at the Velen section of the game and think it's as intriguing as the Novigrad section, or as breathtaking as the Skellige or Kaer Morhen sections, or as mysterious as the Hearts of Stone section, or just as awesome as the Blood and Wine section, but I think it is a really important grounding part of the game, really making the world alive, showcasing that sometimes the more mundane but important parts of a fantasy world are really important to experience. Essentially, you start small and you expand it more and more and more, and you make it a bit more fantasy afterwards, and I think that is what made the game so interesting for me. But anyway guys, that's it for today's video. What did you guys think of this quest? What do you guys think of the characters? Do you have any memories or experiences when playing The Witcher 3 that you want to share? Was there any particular quest and you were just like, wow, this is amazing. I mean, this happened to me a lot throughout the games, and I would love to talk about each one, and maybe I'll do some videos on them, but it was this particular quest. I always remember just thinking, when I was playing The Witcher 3, I was like, this game is incredible. What is going to happen in this game? How long is it going to be? And I remember, like, The Witcher 3, it just kept going and going and going, and then you get to that point at Kaer Morhen. But maybe I'll talk about that in another video. But let me know in the comments what you guys thought of today's video. Be sure to like today's video to see more like it and support the channel, and put any suggestions you have in the comments below. I'd love to know what videos you guys would like to see. It can be on anything you want. Also, be sure to subscribe to see more videos like this in the future, and thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all soon. See you later guys.